Hello everyone. Welcome to EduTap's initiative of Perspective 360 degree, where we do current affair based answer writing practice in a detailed and structured manner. So if you are an aspirant preparing for exams like RBI, NABARD, etc., then this initiative is definitely going to help you with answer writing practice for the descriptive paper of phase 2. So the topic that we are going to discuss today is the BRICS and the context about why this topic was there in news because of the expansion of its membership with the addition of 5 new members. So we are going to cover regarding the BRICS, its significance and what is the significance of the expansion of these members. So before we start the discussion, first let us see the relevance of this topic with respect to your syllabus. So in the RBI Grade B syllabus, the topic regional economic cooperation has been mentioned, and you have to cover BRICS as a part of this topic. Now, if you are somebody who is new to this Perspective 360 degree series, then let me tell you that here, first of all, we give you an expected question, and we are going to discuss this expected question in this session. And once this session is done, you have to write the answer of this expected question in the comment box. That will be later on evaluated by our team within 48 hours. And let me also add that this whole initiative is free of cost. So I hope this is clear to you. Now, moving on to the expected question for today, what is the significance of the recent expansion of BRICS with the addition of new members, and what implications will this expansion have for India's interest? So, if we have to identify the keywords, then the important keywords are the significance of the recent expansion and the implications of this expansion with respect to the India. So the demand has been mentioned very precisely in the question, and it should not be difficult for you to break down the keywords and write the answer in a precise manner. So this is the blueprint, as we always discuss in our sessions, that you have to write your answer in the form of introduction, main body, and the conclusion. The introduction should be around 10 to 12% of the total word limit, and the same rule applies to the conclusion. Then the rest of the word limit should be dedicated to the body part, which will include the different headings and the subheadings. And under the subheadings, you will write your relevant points, and you have to substantiate these points with the help of relevant data, facts, or examples. So I hope this is clear to you. Now, starting with the BRICS about what it is, let us get a background idea regarding the BRICS. So BRICS is an acronym that refers to a group of 5 major emerging economies, and that include the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That is what BRICS mean in the BRICS. Then the term BRICS were originally coined by an economist, Jim O'Neill, in the year 2001. And we are going to cover some sort of historical perspective regarding this, the origination of this term, but in the next slide. So the new members that have been added to the BRICS are Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and United Arab Emirates, UAE. So these are the different members that have been recently added. So if you talk about the BRICS, then when the BRICS was formed in the initial phase, then it only had 4 members, which were Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Then in the year 2010, South Africa was added, and now 5 more new members have joined the stage. So now the total members of BRICS are 10. So I hope this is clear to you. And here I have attached the map which represents the different members, the new members, and the members who have applied for the membership, such as the Algeria, Nigeria, Kazakhstan, and etc. Now, one another important thing is that a correction in the map. Argentina is not a member of the BRICS. Earlier, last year, Argentina was invited to join the membership, but later on they withdrew their decision to join the group. So Argentina is not the member, and for now we have only 10 members as a part of BRICS. Now let us see a brief history of the BRICS, how it was formed. So in the early 2000s, this economist, Jim O'Neill, who was working as a chief economist at Goldman Sachs. And if you don't know about the Goldman Sachs, it is one of the world's important investment organization or investment banks that deals with the financial services. So James O'Neill was working over there, and he published a research paper named "Building Better Global Economic Bricks." That was the name of the research paper that is published. And in this BRICS, S is just for to make it plural, it is not South Africa, because as I told you, South Africa joined in 2010 only in the third BRIC summit. So he mentioned this term BRIC, and the idea behind this term was that he saw these four countries with a significant growth potential in future. And what made him gave this analysis, he gave different points, such as these countries have demonstrated robust economic growth. So for example, you would be knowing that in 1990s India followed the LPG reforms, and as a result of LPG reforms, it showed a significant growth rate from 1994 to 2000 and further on. So that could be one of the reasons why he considered India as a part of this group. Now, another reason he gave that these countries have a significant large population, especially the India and China. Another point that he gave regarding this brick grouping idea, that these countries have shown increased influence on global stage. So these were the reasons why he brought this idea in his research paper regarding the brick. Now when this idea started gaining attention later on, this in the 2009, the BRIC summit happened in Russia, in which all these major countries, which are Brazil, Russia, India, and China, met to discuss economic cooperation and mutual interest. So I would not say that this group formed as a direct consequence of this Jim O'Neill term, but that had some sort of influence on it, and that was the first time when this term was used. Now, in the 2010, as I already said, that the third BRICS summit happened in China, where South Africa joined the grouping. And since then, the BRIC has continued to hold summits to discuss wide range of issues related to economic development, trade, investment, and global governance, etc. So that was the whole, idea behind the formation of group and its history. Now let us move on to the pillars of the BRICS. What are the different pillars on the basis of which BRICS functions? So the first pillar is political and security pillar. The second pillar is economic and financial pillar. And the third pillar is cultural and people to people exchanges. So when we see the political and security pillar, then we can talk about the different summits and joint declarations that happen at the part of BRICS. And in these summits, the members come with a collective viewpoint for their shared interests. So that is the idea behind the political pillar of the BRICS, on the basis of which the members meet. They hold meetings on regular intervals, and they meet together and do different dialogues and discussions to achieve different objectives. The second pillar is economic and financial pillar. For example, the BRICS has established the new development bank that was established in 2014. And one of the important reasons why this bank was formed was to mobilize resources for infrastructure and sustainable development plans. Fine. Another reason why this bank was formed, because to reduce the reliance on traditional multilateral banks such as World Bank. Now, what is the idea behind this? You would be knowing that it has been criticized by different developing countries that The multilateral institutions such as the World Bank, the World Trade Organization, etc., it has been seen that they are dominated by the powerful and the developed countries in the decision making. So the developing countries feel compromised in that aspect, and that is one of the other reasons why the new development bank was formed by the BRICS, because it involves the developing countries such as India, China, Brazil, etc. So this was the main idea behind the new development bank, and which fosters growth through infrastructure and sustainable development plans. But let me also add that the new development bank is not a replacement of World Bank. It is just an additional bank, an additional platform in order to perform different objectives. So this is about the economic and financial pillar of the BRICS. The third is the cultural and people to people exchanges, that may include the academic cooperations among the BRIC nations, and also the cultural exchange and festivals that keep on happening among the BRIC nations on different intervals. So these are the important pillars of the BRICS, and I hope you got the point. Now the next thing is regarding the introduction. Now we are going to write the introduction for this answer. So let's read this question again so that you are able to relate it in a better manner. So the question was regarding the significance of expansion of BRICS with addition of new members, and also its implication with respect to the Indian interest. So when we will write the introduction, we are going to address the question, and we'll also give some sort of background idea about BRICS by writing its definition, so that our introduction can be written in a systematic manner. Let's see. So the BRICS, an acronym representing Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, stands as a formidable alliance of emerging economies with considerable global influence. So it represents the voice of emerging economies such as India, China, Brazil, South Africa. Then these emerging economies, so we have already discussed about the new development bank, one of the reasons also. So it represents the voice of emerging economies with certain sort of a certain type of global influence. So this is what we can start our introduction with. Now we can write, since its inception, BRICS has served as a platform for economic cooperation, geopolitical dialogue, and collective action on pressing global issues. So we can talk about these are the objectives, or the different criterias on the basis of which the BRICS holds a discussion related to the economic cooperation and the geopolitical dialogues that happen between the members. Then the third point that we are going to talk about is BRICS witnessed a significant expansion with the inclusion of new members such as Iran, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, and Ethiopia. So since the question was directly asking about the members, expansion of new members, so what we are doing, in one line, we are writing who are the five members that have joined the group. The next is, after these members have joined the group, so the point 3 and point 2 is connected, and point 1 and point 2 is connected. This is how we are structuring our introduction. So this expansion reflects, now this expansion, which means the groups that have added. So how, see how we are connecting this point. So this expansion reflects BRICS commitment to fostering inclusivity and diversity within its framework. So you can see that how we have designed the introduction, keeping in mind the question, and how we are connecting the points in order to write it in an organized manner. So after the introduction, let us see the significance. So these are just numbers. There is nothing much to explain in these numbers, but what I want you to do is you can write these numbers in your notes as a part of value addition, and wherever it is required, it can be in the essay or some other topic related to international relation, not necessarily with the BRICS. So you can use BRICS as an example in that answer. What I mean to say is that you can write down these points and use it as a value addition. So as far as the GDP is concerned, BRICS total share of GDP with respect to the global GDP is 29%. Then is the population. The total population percentage is 46% of the global population, and we know it is because of mainly the India and China. So if you see, it represents almost half of the world population. So this shows a very important significance of the BRICS, that it is representing the voice of around the half of the world population. So this point is regarding the significance. Then the third point is the oil production. As we know, the Middle East countries have joined the group, and Russia was also already there. So with the addition of that, so the oil production as a part of this group has increased, and it represents around 43% of the global oil production, where the maximum contribution is by the Middle East countries and the Russia. So that is also an important significance. The last point is regarding the exports. So the BRICS represent 25% of the global exports, and that is led by China. So this is the data regarding the significance, and you can use the data in your answers while writing your arguments in order to substantiate your points. So I hope this is clear to you. Now, the next thing is regarding the first part of the answers, which is the body, and where we will see the significance of the recent expansion. What significance this expansion had as far as the BRICS is concerned. So, the first point is regarding strengthening the coalition. So, as we have seen that the BRICS represent around 40, more than 40% of the world's population and more than the quarter of the GDP. So, what this shows is that you can write your answer like with respect to the population. So BRICS represent a high population. You can write its significance with respect to GDP and the energy, its role in trade. You can use all these keywords in your answer. Then what you can write, because of all these factors, BRICS emerges as a stronger coalition than before and make it a significant platform as far as the global stage is concerned. So with the addition of new members such as Saudi Arabia, then the Iran, then the Egypt, all these members. Then we have Ethiopia also, which represents the voice of the African nations. So BRICS has become more inclusive, as well as it has strengthened because of these criterias. So that's how the coalition has become more stronger and it has strengthened than before. The second point is regarding the BRICS expansion and the Middle East. What influence the Middle East has as far as the BRICS is concerned? I've not written a lot of explanation over here. That does not mean that you will just copy paste it in your answer and write it in a short format. That is not the idea. You can always use your idea and use the internet research in order to substantiate your points for the better answers. Such as here, you can write about the role of Middle East in energy security. As we know, the Middle East form one of the biggest reserves of oil and gas. Then you can talk about how Middle East has important major marine choke points such as the Suez Canal. Then we also have Bab el Mandeb, Bab el Mandeb Strait. These are the, so the idea behind this session is that not to just give you the points or the knowledge, because these points you can find anywhere on the internet. That is not the main idea. The In addition to that, what I want to focus on is how you can design your answer, how you can use your prerequisite knowledge for value adding, for doing the value addition in your arguments, and can design your argument. So that is how you can write the role of Middle East, and you can write other points also, such as the Middle East also adds the advantage of discussing the geostrategic issues. So the geostrategic importance, such as related to the geostrategic hotspots, which means the conflict regions. So as you know that the Middle East is a hotspot of conflict regions such as the Syria, in the Iran also, and Yemen, etc. So when the India or the other countries will start having dialogue with Middle East, then these issues will also become a part of discussion, because we have seen in the objectives of BRICS that BRICS gives importance to both economic cooperation as well as to the geostrategic geopolitical issues. So these issues will also become the part of the discussion. So that's how you can design your point and substantiate your answer or your arguments. So I hope this is clear. The next point is regarding representative of developing countries. Now I've written just one line. That does not mean that you will write only one line in your answer. You can talk about the developing and the developed countries. So you can talk about how BRICS can emerge as a voice of developing countries in order to raise their issues on bigger platforms. So, for example, what they can do is imagine BRICS countries forming a coalition and they start supporting each other. And imagine the BRICS countries asking for India's permanent membership to UNSC. Just for the sake of example, you can avoid writing in your answer, but just to give you an example, how the BRICS countries can act as a platform for amplifying the voice of developing countries. Though this case is very impractical, China is never going to support that, though Russia supports our permanent membership. But just to give you an idea about how you can write this point regarding BRICS as a voice of the developing countries, how BRICS, such as the New Development Bank, act as a method of reducing the reliance on the multinational traditional banks such as the World Bank, etc. So that is how you can design your point. So I hope this is clear. The next point is regarding voice of the global governance. So this we have already seen that as BRICS has more than 40% of the world's population, and you can also write about the GDP. It contributes more than 29% of the GDP, and on the basis of purchasing power parity, it has more than 37%. Then you can write about its share in the oil production. I mean, what you can do is whatever data I have given you in the previous slide, you can recycle that data, but do not repeat it. It does not mean that you will write the GDP point here also, and you will write in the second point also, then in the third point also. Don't do that. Avoid the repetition, but use it in an optimized manner as much as you can. So you can write that it contributes to the a larger proportion of world population, and all these things, the GDP, the oil production, the energy security, the exports, etc. And that's why it can act as a big platform to advocate for the reforms in the global governance structure and to assert its influence within these frameworks. So that's how you can write these points, and this point is somewhat self-explanatory also. So I would like to read your answers, what you are going to write in this point. The next point is regarding the body part 2, which is the implications for India. So, what are the implications of this expansion as far as the India is concerned? So, the first opportunity that it gives to India is to increase its diplomatic relations. So, as we know that the African countries such as Egypt, Ethiopia, then the South American countries such as Brazil, now the Asian countries such as Russia, China, India, Saudi Arabia, Iran, UAE, all these countries. Out of these countries are Middle East countries, which are oil producing countries and can also improve the trade relations of India. They can also help India to solve the issues related to Afghanistan. I mean, we right now we do not have good relations with Afghanistan with respect to Taliban. So as far the geostrategic relations are concerned, these things are important. So these countries can help us to mediate the differences. Now BRICS also gives us to have dialogue with China, since we do not have good relations with China. So what we have is we have BRICS, and we can talk to China on this platform and and improve our diplomatic relations with them in order to bring better deals on the table. So that is how you have to understand, these points about how it offers more diplomatic opportunities for India in order to discuss a better cooperation on political, economic, and security matters to advance its interests and priorities on the global stage. So I hope you have understood this point. The next point is regarding the economic partnership. This point is very easy. I have discussed it multiple times. So you can write about the GDP data, about the purchasing power parity also. This data I have given. You can write about how the economic partnership will improve as a result of the trades and investments and the resource diversification. Then you can also talk about the opening of market access in these countries as a result of the BRICS. So these are the points that you can write in order to justify that yes, the BRICS is going to open more economic partnerships for India and will lead to more opportunities for the country with respect to the increased trade, the enhanced economic cloud. All these keywords you can write, these are very much self-explanatory and there is nothing too much understand in it. So that's how you can design your answer. The next point is regarding the regional influence. So, what the BRICS will help in, BRICS can help India to have a regional influence, as we have already discussed. The African countries are also there, then the Asian countries are also there, then the countries coming from different geography, from the different culture and the different type of economies. So, what India can do is India can use BRICS to sign free trade agreements with the nation, then the comprehensive economic cooperation agreements. Such type of FTAs and CACAs can be signed by using BRICS as a platform and can also be used to discuss the issues of World Trade Organization with respect to the developing countries, because since BRICS has the developing countries, so what developing countries can do, they can generate a voice. And India is also asking for a lot of reforms, for example related to MSP etc, MSP etc at the World Trade Organization platform. So what, how we can utilize BRICS? We can talk about this issue at the BRICS platform, come to certain conclusions, have some dialogues. So what we can do is then we can use or discuss those issues at the World Trade Organization in order to amplify our voice. So that's how the regional influence can be created, and India can utilize this opportunity through this coalition and cooperation. I hope this point is clear to you. Now, the next point is regarding energy security. I'm not even going to explain this point. I've repeated it multiple times that how the energy security is going to increase with the oil and gas exploration. So this is how the India can gain the advantage out of it. The next point is regarding the challenges of coordination. Now, understand that since even if the BRICS is a great platform for India, but one of the challenges that India is going to face is India has to balance the relation with the Western Bloc, who are not the part of this agreement, for example, the US, and then the BRICS, which includes the Russia. So India has friendly relations with both Russia and America. In addition to that, the China is also a member of BRICS. So India needs to coordinate its effort with these global powers so that it can extract maximum benefit out of these cooperations. So that is the broad idea behind the challenges of coordination, that you can write in your answer that though BRICS is a great platform for India in order to in order to enhance its cooperation and and to increase its benefit. But one of the major challenges regarding the coordination with respect to dealing with the Western Bloc and the other powers in the that are the part of the BRICS platform, such as the Russia and the China. So you can write about it, and I have mentioned it here also that India will need to navigate these complexities to ensure that expanded BRICS remains as an effective platform for advancing its economic, political, and strategic objectives on the global stage. So I hope this point is also clear to you. Now, the last part of this answer is the conclusion. So, since the question was asking about the expansion and expansion of the new members, so we are going to write our conclusion according to that. So, the BRICS recent expansion marks a significant step towards fostering inclusivity and diversity. We have seen how it promotes the inclusivity and diversity by especially by joining the membership of African nations such as Ethiopia. What it does, it gives a platform to countries like India, China, Russia, an opportunity to discuss the issues with respect to the African nations and can tap more opportunities to it. And it also promotes the inclusivity and diversity, as I've already said that the countries that are coming from different continents, different geographies, different cultures, and different state of economy. So all these countries from diverse backgrounds are coming and are meeting at one platform. So this makes BRICS as a inclusive, as a diverse framework. So that's what we have written. Then we have written that with the addition of new members, BRICS reaffirms its commitment to addressing global challenges through collective action and cooperation. This expansion not only strengthens the alliance influence but also broadens its scope to represent a more diverse array of voices and perspectives from regions spanning West Asia, Africa, and Latin America. So that's how we can design the conclusion. One thing I have missed in that you can write in your answer is about the India. Since the question was asking about India also, so somehow I have skipped it, but I want you to write about India because you can write about that it opens new opportunities for India at a global stage, and through this, it can tap into different markets and create more diplomatic opportunity for the nation. So I hope the conclusion is also clear to you how you can design it in a systematic manner. So that is it for today. And let me repeat that you have to write your answer in the comment section. That will be evaluated by our team within 48 hours. And also, this whole initiative is free of cost. And I hope this lecture was somehow beneficial for you. And thank you so much. All the best.